There is a question: can a person change their employer after arriving in the Canada if needed? See, as I said, like this is not an open work permit, so it would be a employer specific. However, if suppose you reach there and some other employer is going ready to sponsor you, yes, definitely you can change your employer. But it is not like that you get a offer from one employer and you just leave and join another one. The other employer also has to give you the job offer. And if you have CLB 5 in French, and he doesn't need to do LMI, so he can definitely give you that offer. Can the work permit holder apply for permanent residency immediately, or is there any waiting period? As I said already, that if suppose your CRS score is good enough, and only by getting your 50 points of job offer, if you can boost up your CRS, you can definitely get the PR. No problem if your CRS is 500, 490. But if suppose it's not up to that mark, then you can wait up to 1 year, add 50 points of your work experience, add 50 points of your offer letter, and you can get the PR easily. And the question last, I think it's how to bridge the gap between employer and me. So this is a very tough question, because if suppose you have CLB 5 CRS score in French, you have a good profile. So there are different websites, tools like LinkedIn, or maybe there are some employment website like Indeed.ca. You can create a good profile, and you can approach the employers. Or there are some specific agents which actually we also came into contact. Their job is this only. They charge you some fees, and then they help you to get a job under French Francophone Mobility Program. So these kind of people are available, or agents are available, or consultants are available. Or if suppose you don't want to go through any consultants, LinkedIn, Indeed, these are the some few websites where you can create good profile, add your French language skill set in that, be specific on the French. Like you have to just make them understand that you know French and you have already given TCF or TF, so that they can directly hire you. So these are the way where you can bridge the gap.
Just to add on that point, the last question. See, earlier, if a Canadian employer had to hire you and you are in India, or let's say you are in Pakistan, or you're in some other country, Asian country for that example, they had to get a LMIA approved job offer. And this was a task. I know this because it was attempted with me in my one of my employers in India. They had a Canadian client, and it did not work out in the end. Not because of me, but some other reason. But the thing is that employer had to have a lawyer. They had to initiate this LMIA procedure, labor market impact assessment. They had to get a LMI approved job offer. It takes some time. It also costs the employer a little bit of money. I don't know exactly, but maybe around 1,000 Canadian dollars or more, something like that. So generally, because of that process and timeline and cost of that thing, employers did not prefer hiring the outside candidates directly as long as they got good candidates within Canada, because that is much more easier. However, now because they have changed this in the Francophone Mobility Work Permit program recently, what they have changed is you do not need a job offer which is LMI approved. You can have a normal job offer which is LMI exempted. For that also, as Nilesh mentioned, employer still has to get that exemption from the government. It's not like some chachaji of yours in his bedroom can create a job offer on a nice printer. No, that doesn't work. They still have to get the exemption, and that is how you can actually verify from that exemption number whether the job offer is a correct job offer or not. But the long point is that since the employer do not have to do this LMI assessment and all that, it has become much easier for their side to hire skilled people or talented people directly from other countries, as long as you have CLB 5, that is B1 competency in speaking and listening in French, because this program is Francophone Mobility Work Permit program. So if you can demonstrate, or you can put on your CV that you already have CLB 5 or more higher in your French speaking, listening and other things, then they would know that you are eligible for Francophone Mobility Work Permit program, and it will be a boost for them to hire you because it is easier process than before. And just to summarize everything before we take the questions from you, French for Canada is always a good idea. And I have said this many times, whether in my lectures or on my live sessions, it's a political requirement of Canada. So do not wonder or do not self doubt if these French specific programs or French will go away after 1 year or no. Because French in Canada is a political necessity. So IRCC, provinces, government, they will always and always have preferential treatment for francophone immigrants, always. That's a political reality of Canada. So if you can explore and you can take help of, you can consult with Nilesh for immigration. If you can explore all the programs, whether it's provincial nomination programs which have French component, whether it is French specific express entry draws, whether it is Francophone mobility work permit program, I urge you to explore all the options that become open to you with French competency. Even if you do not have French competency today, even if today you don't have CLB 5 or CLB 7, you first explore this path and you will be surprised. You will be surprised to understand there are many pathways become available if you can develop at least, I'm saying not always, but at least CLB 5 competency in French. So that is the summary of the session, that we have talked about various options and various technicalities, but French is always a good idea. Always a good idea if you want to immigrate to Canada. That will always be the case because of the political importance of that language and the Quebec region in Canada's politics.
Yeah.
Politically, Quebec demands independence. They don't want that, so they want more integration of Quebec with other provinces. And how does that happen? If there's more exchange between Quebecian people and rest of the Canadians, that will integrate the society. But that needs language because Quebec primarily speaks French. So they cannot integrate Quebec without having more francophone people. So please do not worry about this. French for Canada, always a good
No
idea.
problem. Yeah. And if someone is age 45, is there any chance of getting? Suppose the person is 45 plus, he can either apply for Francophone Mobility Program and a work permit, or with CLB 7, he can go for other provinces like Saskatchewan or Quebec, where the age limit for PR is 49 years.
Okay, so age limit for PR is 49 years old for some provinces.
Quebec and Saskatchewan, yeah.
And apart from that, Rajan, just to answer this particular question, for the Francophone Mobility Work Permit program, you do not need CLB 7. You only need CLB 5. That too in speaking and listening, which I would say is considerably less challenging than scoring CLB 7 in all 4 modules of the exam. Right? Listening and speaking CLB 5 is much lesser of a challenge. And in Francophone Mobility Work Permit program, there is no age limit. So your first part of your question becomes irrelevant. If someone is 45, that doesn't matter for the work mobility program. As long as you get a job offer which is LMI exempted, which is a good thing, and I mean it's relevant, like that the officer thinks that you will add value to the Canadian economy, which is fine. Any benefit of French in New Brunswick province? Yeah.
PNP program. Yes, it will give an added. As I said, like every province, they have some special French programs. So if even for New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, or maybe it is for Saskatchewan, they give additional points for this French speaking. So that will definitely give you additional points.
Another question is, what would be Francophone immigration targets in 2024?
But we already discussed the thing that you do not need to worry about that because it is definitely going to boost up your score. So as far as the country is there, they are speaking French. They want to integrate Quebec into Canada. This program will go on. Maybe it could happen in the future that they stop express entry program and they could only carry on French speaking or LMI approved or only after education PR pathway. Only this kind of program could be there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm tired of telling this to people, and I think that learning French for Canada immigration is never a bad idea. just
Yes.
to round up that point, hopefully they reduce the CLB 7 requirement to CLB 5. He's joking, the user. But what I'm saying is that CLB 5 is already the requirement for Francophone Mobility Work Permit Program. It's not CLB 7. And this change happened in mid-June. Earlier, Nilesh, even for Francophone Mobility Work Permit Program, the requirement was CLB 7,
Till 7.
and
Yeah.
they have reduced that recently in the last month of June. So maybe if you guys are ready to
In
wait for
future, yeah.
few more years, they'll reduce it for X%.
If they need more French bilingual candidates, then definitely they can reduce. But it is not. No, we cannot predict that.
Yeah, sure. But having said that, let's conclude. And I think we have concluded questions from YouTube also now. So which is, thank you so much.